Evening, everyone. Welcome to this Monday evening presentation. So it's our first presentation for February, and can you believe that we're already in the second month of 2025? Time really does fly. This evening, I'm going to be presenting with Alex. So I'm just going to start off very quickly by introducing myself, and then I'm going to hand over to Alex so she can introduce herself and she can go into the product part of the presentation. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Merle Westcott and I live in Durban. And I joined LifeWave in December 2022, which makes me one of the longest standing members of the This Is It team in South Africa. So we fall under Steve and Gina Merritt, who started the This Is It team in America in about July 2022. And when we started with LifeWave in South Africa, it was pretty much non-existent. There was nothing happening here. And when I was introduced to the product, it was by watching a video of David Schmidt, who's our CEO and inventor, talking about LifeWave to healthcare professionals. And because I've been in complementary therapy for most of my adult life, or at least the last 30 years, I've practiced life alignment and I practiced as a nutritionist. Everything that I saw David talking about made perfect sense to me. And I said, okay, I'm going to start using X39. It was the only patch I knew about. I didn't actually know there were other patches in the company. So X39 is still a patch. And I'm going to see what it does for me, but I'm never telling anybody because I'm done with network marketing. Anyway, we've got our patches. My husband and I started patching, and within a week, I had a result with my shoulder. I'd injured my shoulder in 2012 doing a fitness challenge. And I spent a lot of time going to the chiropractor. I still do sometimes. Mish is here on the call. So that was my first result. And then I ended up telling a friend because she phoned me and was complaining about her shoulder, and the rest is history. Anyway, 4 months later, I did my yearly blood test. I have an underactive thyroid, and my thyroid had actually improved for the first time since I started taking medication in 2015. So I then knew I had a blood test that showed that something had improved that I didn't even know had improved, because when I take meds, I feel fine in any case. My shoulder had improved, and all sorts of things have changed since then. Since then, I've been asked, have I had a facelift? Have I used Botox? None of which I do. And it's really has changed my life on on so many levels. And I see miracles happening every single day. So Alex is my very dear friend. We've been friends for well over 20 years. And it took me a very long time to convince her that patching was something that might be good for her. But I'm going to let Alex tell her own story. So over to you, Alex.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, um, yeah, my name's Alex, and I've been involved with LifeWave for about 18 months now. It took Merle 8 months to get me to look at it. And I only did that because a very good friend of mine's brother got dementia, and they were prepared. He was young, um, and they were prepared to do absolutely anything. So he asked me if I knew of anything, and I said I knew of this thing, but it sounded ridiculous, but I would have a look. So that was my motivation for getting involved. I'm a nurse, very long ago, by the way, but I am a nurse, so I do have the filing system to understand the scientific stuff, and I spent a lot of time reading the trials, watching a lot of videos, some good, some bad, some indifferent, some absolutely outstanding. Um, Looking on PubMed and academia in terms of what the peptide actually does, looking into the science of it, looking into the company. Because this is network marketing to which I have an absolute allergy, not my style at all. And I needed to be sure that this wasn't being made in a garage by an enthusiast with a good idea. So I did spend a lot of time looking at what made this company what it was and whether its evidence was scientific and clinical. So that's my background. Do you want me to tell my story?
I think so.
Okay, so I had polymyalgia for about 20 years. It was maintained with anti-inflammatories, cortisone. I used to buy prednisone tablets in 1,000 tablet bottle so that I could manage doing my exercise, going on hikes, cycling, all that kind of stuff. I also understood what they was doing. Anyhow, so that's where I started. Once I understood that the technology was sound and that the patch did what it said it would do, I started using patches. I had some good days, some bad days, some horrible days where my joints were really sore, some days when I was really tired. But I'd had a seriously inflammatory condition for 20 years. And I woke up 10 months later pain-free. So it has changed my entire life. Does that mean that every single day that I have is pain-free? No. There's some days where my joints ache again, and it's just all part of what we call remodeling. It's another level of healing. But a constant level of pain, that's gone. I live a completely different life. So that's my story. Oh, and along the way, I got a couple of other things. All my hair had fallen out. I'd lost 20 kilos. I have seemed to have refound those. But my hair, I was really, really stressed. So I had leaky gut, brain fog. I really was kind of ready for admission to a home for the bewildered. I was very unusual. And since then, my hair's all come back. All my fine lines and wrinkles have gone. My eyes have even lifted. So I no longer get these little black dots when I put on mascara. And that's all just a part and parcel of what patches do. So if they're doing that to the outside of me, what are they doing to the inside of me? So that's really not a big stretch. Okay, that's me.
Perfect. I'm going to start sharing because Alex is going to do the first part of the presentation. I'm just going to start sharing it. We're just, where we are, there we go. Sorry. Right. Can everybody see my screen?
So we always begin by asking, pardon?
Everyone see my screen.
Yeah. We always begin by asking, have you been patched yet? Okay, some of you have, some of you haven't. And for those of you who haven't, this is really quite an adventure. It's not like anything you've ever heard before. So this is like story time at the library. And this is real, real stuff. So let's get on and tell the story. So David Schmidt is the CEO and inventor of X39. He has now over 180 patents. He's a scientist and an inventor, so not a medical doctor. And he specializes in age reversing. In 2008, David focused his attention on stem cell research, which, by the way, currently in the world is estimated at about 2.6 billion that is being spent on stem cell research. And this recent patent took 10 years and 4.5 million to bring to market. So patented technology. So what? What does that mean? You don't get a patent if you don't have new and unique information to share. Any patent that you get lasts for 20 years. So the patent scientifically proves that the patch does what it claims to do to the satisfaction of the patent authorities in the States and the FDA. A patent also lasts 20 years, of which we still have 15 left. And this is totally unique technology. Those are quite important things to remember. Totally unique technology. Why X39 stem cell patch? The fewer stem cells you have, the faster you age and the slower you heal. All of you will know that either through yourselves or through people around you that you love and care about. Hundreds of millions of people are aging, experiencing symptoms of aging all over the world. At age 30, only half of your stem cells are active. That's quite a thing, guys. I didn't know that, by the way, before I started doing this. And at age 60, you've lost almost all your stem cell activity. How does X39 work? X39 is a proprietary form of phototherapy. So phototherapy has been around in its simplistic form for about 3,500 years. Phototherapy simply means light therapy. In patches, or in the context of patches, the source of light is our own body's infrared light. The patch composition is patented nanocrystal technology. So minute little crystals in a lattice work of sugar, salt, oxygen, water, and proprietary amino acids, which in the case of X39 is cysteine, lysine, and histidine. This technology, which is in the patch, is activated by the infrared light that your body reflects. So reflected light is what activates the patch. So much like we get vitamin D from the sun does not give us vitamin D. It reacts with the melanin in our skin to stimulate a biochemical process which stimulates the production of vitamin D. Patches work on the same principle. The patch does not contain stem cells. The patch stimulates a frequency which creates a biochemical change, which stimulates a peptide, which stimulates dormant stem cells. So it's non-transdermal, no drugs or chemicals or stimulants, and non-invasive. So nothing is going into your system except a message. What are the benefits of X39? So if you look at all of those and reverse the process, those are all the things that you lose as you age. So as we give you a peptide that you used to have lots of and have lost as you age, you increase your strength, reduced inflammation, increased stamina, energy and vitality, mental clarity. That's a huge thing for lots of people. It's one of the things that people notice easily, quickly, and often quite miraculously. It really, in my case, felt like somebody had unhinged my head and given me a new brain. So it was really, really a positive thing for me. Restored muscle or skeletal conditions, improvement of sleep, and improvement of skin appearance. And these are just a few, by the way. The list of what GHKCU, which is the copper peptide, does reads like a telephone directory. It's long. So results of a topographical map. This was a study done. This particular person was a 77-year-old yoga teacher who placed X39 on the back of her neck. In session 1, you can see the inflammation of the brain in terms of the orange and red in the topography map, which indicates lack of brain coherence. In session 2, 3 weeks on X39, no more inflammation, improved brain coherence. And by session 3, which is 6 weeks on X39, there's a complete turnaround. And there's better brain coherence, and it's cumulative. The longer the patch stays on, the more resolution there is in terms of restoration and regeneration. So X39 long-term results per case studies on thisisatinfo.com. That is a website. So the things that we're going to talk about here are things that have been clinically proven, not things that have that were just sounded like a good idea at the time and were a hypothesis. So first few days, 4,000 genes begin to reset. If you know anything about genes, I mean, resveratrol, which everybody considers to be quite a wow, resets 2. So that's quite an extraordinary comparison. Within 6 weeks, the brain becomes balanced. We've just seen the pictures of that. Within 3 months, your collagen is increased. That doesn't only apply to your skin, nails, and hair. Collagen is the building block. Collagen's everywhere. It's in your joints, it's in your blood vessels, it's in your gut. My leaky gut from being so stressed was resolved by taking X39. I had to recolonize my gut because I'd lost all the flora, but the actual leaky gut was restored. Within 6 months, the heart reverses in age. So David Schmidt says it's not anti-aging, it's age reversing. How to wear X39. You wear your patch for 12 hours on and 12 hours off to repair and rejuvenate. Then you throw the patch away. Then you put on a new patch and repeat. Now we do that so that we don't get attenuation, so that the body doesn't get over signaled and therefore stops responding to the signal. You can wear more than one patch at a time because we have a whole lot of different kinds of patches, but more than one X39 at a time is not useful. Drink plenty of water and take electrolytes, because this is essentially electricity. It's a frequency. It's communication. And the more hydrated you are, and as long as you have the right electrolytes, the message will be transferred faster. X39 is so sophisticated and yet so simple to explain. Testimonies of X39 are life-changing and emotional. So the best thing about X39 is that it absolutely works. And now I'm going to fetch my power cord so that my computer doesn't shut down. So off you go.
Thanks, Alex. So while Alex is gone, because this is where we are at in the presentation, we're going to ask for some testimonies. It's always nice to share. And I haven't been on a call with Amanda for a couple of weeks, so I'm sure she's got a lot to share, because Amanda always has the most amazing testimonies from the people that she comes across. So we'll start with Amanda.
Thanks. I actually have a new testimony for myself. So I started with, LifeWave. I'm a one-patch wonder. I had COVID, and within 2 hours, I was basically healed. But I'm not going to focus on that. But that was 9 months ago. And since then, I didn't have huge things that I can tell about, fantastic things that kept on happening. But my sleep improved dramatically. My skin improved dramatically. Lately, I've got nice soft heels, which I've never had in my whole life. But then you hear about all these other things and you think, but I'm not getting all these amazing things. There's still things. I'm struggling with the knee, and everybody else is getting results on their knees. But all I kept on thinking is, if my skin is changing on the outside so much, what's happening in the inside of my body? And last week I went for blood tests, and I was amazed. I didn't know I had a problem. I don't have a problem, but apparently my kidney counts went up dramatically. So that was really amazing to me. Those are the things that you don't see on the outside. You don't even know that there's something wrong, but the blood test showed that. So I was very excited about that, knowing that the longer you go on, things are happening in your body. You don't see it. Just keep on going, keep on using it, because there's healing happening in your body that you are not even aware of. Thank you, guys.
Oh, thanks, Amanda. And that's always so important, because so often people think nothing's happening. And then they go for a blood test and there's a huge improvement, like now Amanda's kidneys. But if you didn't have the blood test, you wouldn't know. So for those of you who are brand partners and you see people in the group saying nothing is happening, it's not that nothing is happening, it's they don't know what is happening. So my husband has started telling people that when they start patching, and I mean, he always says, and it's quite a bit ridiculous, but anyway, he makes the point, that if you think you're patching because you've got a septic ingrown toenail, and in a couple of months' time, you've still got a septic ingrown toenail, it's because the stem cells don't think your toenail is important enough, and maybe you've got a faulty valve in your heart, and that's where the stem cells are going. And when that's all fixed, then they're going to focus on your toenail. So reality is, you don't know where the stem cells are going, and you can't choose where they're going to go first. So you might think that you are not feeling better, but things are changing. So Candace, who's my sponsor, it took her 18 months. She kept patching because she saw other people's results, and she was convinced something must be happening in her body, but she actually didn't know. She didn't feel much better. But I had done blood tests for her just before we started doing LifeWave, not because of LifeWave, but because I helped her with nutrition, and I did them as a nutritionist. And 18 months in, she had blood tests, and her inflammatory markers were the lowest they'd been since she's fallen in her salon. She was a hairdresser. She couldn't hairdress anymore because she'd fallen in her salon on her back, and she chipped bones, and she didn't want surgery. And from then, her inflammatory markers had been sky high, so high that they thought she had an autoimmune disease, but it was just inflammation. And that blood test 18 months in, for the first time in years, the inflammation markers had come down. They're still not normal, but they'd come into single figures. They had always been in double figures and high double figures. So that was when she knew something was happening. She didn't think it was, but the blood test showed, plus her thyroid, that I'd actually referred her to a doctor for, because it really was not good, and the doctor had prescribed medication which she never took. Her thyroid had improved, it was completely normal. So you just don't know where the stem cells are going. So we just got to keep patching and trust that our bodies are way more intelligent than we are. So it's just sort of a by the way. And while I'm on that one, Caroline has some interesting stories. So I'm going to hand over to Caroline for a bit.
Yeah, hi. I have been patching for a good year now. And when I started, one of my main issues was exactly the same, and I want my knee to get better. But I was not expecting all the other little things that happened along the way. In fact, I wasn't really expecting anything. As most of you that start, we're all a bit like, I wonder whether this is as good as it sounds. So, but a good couple of weeks into the process of just patching with X39, I really could start feeling a difference in my sleep. And that was my first really big, huge plus. It was that feeling of just being absolutely out and waking up refreshed in the morning, which was amazing. I think I hadn't realized how much pain I was in my body because I kept waking up all through the night, low-lying some pain disorder of whether it's arthritis, fibromyalgia, who knows what I've had. I've not had it tested, but it was just that feeling of always being in pain in certain situations and sleeping in my bed. And suddenly I was just like, I'm not in pain and I'm sleeping through. So that was a massive plus. 8 weeks in, and my knee started bending, and I was so thrilled because that was a knee I'd been working on for a very, very long time. I mean, many, many years I'd been trying to get my knee to kind of just sit on my heels, like you do in a yoga position, or just to bend your legs up like that. And that started sorting itself out. Then my fingers started feeling much, much better. I didn't have that pain inside my palms, and my rings started fitting again. So I just feel that with the patches, the inflammation just melted away, and it's the stem cells just started repairing. And again, I've got issues with my thyroid. I've got various other things. I think, when you get to my age, 66, your body is quite often, full of things that is very kind of necessary to repair. I mean, I'm a fairly healthy person, but just by age, and genetics and what have you, there's always going to be lots of stuff to repair. And I can feel now, a year later, that the ongoing repairs are still happening. Did a yoga class recently and was so surprised to see how flexible my lower back was, and something I hadn't noticed at all. So yeah, altogether, I'm just knowing that little by little, it's getting through bits and pieces of my body that needed repairing, and I'm not stopping at all. I'm going to continue the journey, which I think is really exciting.
Thanks, Caroline. Is there anybody else who would like to share? We've got time for one more testimony if there's somebody who would like to share. Yes, Tanya.
Hi, Merle. It's nice to meet you.
Lovely to meet you.
Thank you. So I've been patching for 2 weeks, and I didn't have, and I don't have any real illnesses or discomforts that I knew of. But what I noticed on the very first moment of patching was a gush of energy that was actually astounding for me, because compared to my friends and people that I know, I have the highest energy levels. Like I really do generate a lot of energy, and I'm able to work very well, and I exercise at a very high level. And the last thing I expected actually was to have more energy. So what has happened is my workday has gone from 6 o'clock in the morning now to 11 o'clock at night. I work with absolute clarity. I don't get tired. I don't have that afternoon dip. I've always slept very well, and I'm sleeping even better than I have before. I didn't know that would be possible. I mean, one of the things that people always used to say, they're so jealous that I could just fall asleep anywhere and sleep really well. and that's improved. So even at a high level of thriving in life, I'm even doing better, which is phenomenal. One of the things I can say is that I've been, as I said, exercising for about 3 years at quite a high intensity. And one of the trails that I run here in Cape Town have kind of always made me feel a little bit scared of, really going for it. So I decided at the beginning of the year that I would attempt to do this trail by the end of the year. I would pace myself through it and just work towards overcoming that fear. And so the first day that I set my mind to doing the trail, I said, okay, let's just measure and see how far I get today. And I completed it without any trouble. So the goal that I set for myself for the whole year, I accomplished the first day of just trying it, not even setting out to conquer it. So, that's mental and physical strength, which I'm just so excited about, because it's like I feel like I'm superhuman and I've just started. It's incredible. So yeah, that's my testimony. I've got many, many more, but maybe for another time, for other people that I've started patching.
That's great. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And congratulations on now you're going to have to find another trail or something. Very exciting. Right, let's go back into the presentation. Okay, so as you would have heard, Alex spoke about this is at info.com. She hasn't unmuted herself, so I'll talk about this one for you, Alex. She spoke about it earlier, and it really is a site that is worth going to have a look at. It's got all the patents, it's got testimonies, it's got David Schmidt talking, there's a little corporate video. You can watch Dr. Leyland Stillman, who's one of the medical doctors in the team. So he's not part of corporate, he's just a brand partner like all of us are. Watch him talking, and right at the bottom there is a doctor's panel. And on there, you'll see everything from a cardiovascular surgeon to an anesthetist to chiropractors talking about their experience with patching. And a lot of them were skeptical, and they'll tell you they were skeptical and how they're now having incorporated patching into their practices. So if anybody wants to know more about X39, this is at info.com is the place to go. All right, so I am now going to go into the business side. So when I started LifeWave, I wasn't at all excited about the business. Now I am very, very excited about the business because it's completely changed my life and it's changing many people's lives. I'm off to Cape Town tomorrow, and I'm telling you this because I'm off to meet Arlene, who is a very long-time Life Alignment colleague. She's an ex-South African. She's lived in Australia for nearly 20 years. And the only reason that she's going to be in Cape Town and can afford to come out to go on the retreat that she's going to go on, and which is why I'm going to actually see her in person for the first time in years, is because of LifeWave. Because if she hadn't started patching, and she's had the most phenomenal healing, at the end of 2023, so December 2023 was when she joined, but if she hadn't joined, she wouldn't actually be here, because it's changed her life to that degree that she can actually now come to South Africa, and she's brought her daughter with her, and she arrived this afternoon, and she's seeing her son, and she hasn't seen him in 3 years. So LifeWave changes lives, not just from a health point of view. And if anybody wants to see her story, it's phenomenal, because she's had a double mastectomy, a tumor in her heart. Her healing journey with LifeWave has been phenomenal, but so has the impact that the compensation plan has had on her life. So I'm just using that as an example as to why I get so excited, because it really does change lives. It's changed my life in a very similar way. So when I decided I was going to tell my friends like Alex about LifeWave, I thought I better look at this company, because if I'm going to tell people about it, I'm not telling people about a company, as Alex said, that run out of a garage or something. Well, in South Africa, it's warehoused out of a garage, a single person's garage, but it is a legit product, and we are getting a proper warehouse. But that's just South Africa. It's made at an ISO standard factory in Ireland, and it produces patches for the whole world, and the technology is absolutely amazing. So that's where it's actually produced. It's just where it's distributed from. Anyway, we are last year, so in 2024, when I started looking at where we were at, We were a 19-year-old company. Last year, we turned 20, which is quite something because in multi-level marketing, most companies don't make it past the first 3 years. We now open in over 75 countries, and the very exciting thing about our product, with it being patented, is that nobody can copy it. So we're not a me-too product. So there were a lot of great products out there, whether it be weight loss or skincare or supplements. But if I say I've got a skincare product, you're going to say, well, I've got one too. Well, LifeWave, we don't have that. If we have a look at the company's growth, you can see that there's no ways a company can increase its turnover to such a degree if it didn't have a phenomenal product that everybody needed. So in 2021, we did a $20 million turnover for the year. 2024, we turned over 600 million, and we're on track to do over $1 billion this year. So that's quite some growth, and it is all because of X39, because X39 came to market or was patented in 2020. Before that, we do have other supplementary products, and they are amazing, but they're not X39. They don't do what X39 does. So we also ranked as the #1 momentum company on businessforhome.org, which is quite something because businessforhome.org lists all the multi-level marketing companies. So we're #1 momentum there. So not the #1 company, but the #1 growth company. Now, last year, we were awarded the DSM 2024 Global Bravo Award for the #1 growth company in network marketing. And we've been awarded it again this year. We don't have it yet, but in March at the awards, we will be getting it for the 2nd year in a row. So at this point of the presentation, we always say, what is the most important thing in your life? So why are you on this presentation today? Are you wanting more time with your family? Or do you want time freedom? Or what about security? Would you like to travel more? Do you want better health or less debt? What is it that's making you look at LifeWave today? Now, a lot of us come to LifeWave because we want better health. But many people have debt. Many people want more time with their families. Like I met somebody on the weekend who is about to have her first child. And she's going to have 4 months maternity leave and then has to go back to work. She's a chartered accountant. She doesn't want to go back to work. Now, LifeWave could change all of that. So it really is about what each person is looking for. Or maybe you're looking for all of those things. So we have an incredible compensation plan, as I said. So like all multi-level marketing companies, we get compensated if we sign somebody up. It's called a product introductory bonus. But Meredith, our president, always says that's a one and done. You get a bonus once, and unless you nurture that person who's come in and you help them to be successful, they're just going to be left there. So that's a small part of how we are compensated. If you're on the call tonight and you never ever want to be involved in the business, you could sign up as a preferred customer so that you're not paying retail price, which is 50% more. You'd get it in wholesale, but you would have a monthly recurring order, and the person who introduces you will get commission every single month that your order goes off, but you're going to get wholesale price. So we have that option too. But then we love building teams in LifeWave, and we love to nurture people. So when you come into LifeWave, whoever you come in under, you're going to come in on one of their legs. We build 2 legs. And I always call it like the waterfall effect, or it's like those champagne glass things that they used to have at weddings, where they pour the champagne in the top and they like run over the edges. Because on the leg that you are put on, your team above you, so your sponsor and the people they brought in before you, every time they put someone on that leg, they drop down underneath you, and you end up having people underneath you on one of your teams, the team that you were put on, that you don't even know who they are, and you think, well, where did these people come from? But they are adding to your business volume, and that's so exciting. So we want to get you to manager. That's always the first thing we want to do. So to get to manager, you come in, you put two of your own people on the left, 2 on the right. The leg that you are on, whether it be left or right, you are going to get people added to that leg by the people above you. And that is all going to add to business volume. Everything those people do gives you business volume. And every time you have 330 volume on one leg, 660 on the other, you get a cycle bonus, which is $50. Now, those cycle bonuses are capped at $25,000 a week for the top senior presidential directors. So some of them max that out every Monday morning. So that's just one way we earn, but it's capped at $25,000. So there's huge potential there. Obviously, we can't guarantee anybody's income. It's all about how hard you work, but it's very, very exciting. Now, all of this might sound a bit confusing, but you can go back to the person who invited you and ask them to give you more information, and I'm going to tell you where you can get more information on the compensation plan. Now, once you're a manager, we also have something called matching bonuses, and both matching bonuses are very, very exciting too. So Alex is my first line. Every time Alex gets a cycle bonus, I get 25% of it, but not of her money. She still gets her full $50. I get 25% of that, and I don't know, is everybody still seeing my screen properly? Perfect, because something is going weird here, but I know that I'm having an issue. I can see that I've got low bandwidth, and we've had an issue with connectivity today. So if anything happens, there are 2 other people who host on the call. Thank goodness for that. Anyway, so every time Alex gets her $50, I get 25%, which is $12.50. And then people in my second line, I get 20% from, and people in my third line. But that will become clearer when you start getting those, because I know that there are a lot of people on this call, when they got their first cycle bonus or their first matching bonus, I get a phone call to say, well, there's this money in my e-wallet on my screen. Where did it come from? Amanda's smiling. I'm going to get her to talk just now because she's one of the people that, how on earth is this ever going to work? It works amazingly. So how do you come into LifeWay? If you come in, we always say you come in where you fit in. So if all you can afford is to come in on call, because David Schmidt has said everybody should patch for at least 90 days, then you come in on call, which is $295. You get a place on the binary. You get 3 sleeves of X39, which is your 3-month supply to do your 3 months, and you get patching. For some people don't want to tell anyone until they have their story. I mean, I wasn't going to tell anyone. I had a story in a week, and yeah, the rest is history. So that's where you start with that. If, however, you've got a bigger family, so it's you and your husband, and maybe you've got children you want to patch, then advanced is going to be the right place for you to come in, because on advanced, you are going to pay $535. So already you're getting a discount, and you're going to get 6 sleeves of X39, or you can custom make your pack. And if you want more product than that, you can come in on premium, where the price of the sleeves drops to $87.50. And you can get 20 sleeves of X39, but it's going to cost you $1,750. Now, we need to stay active like any business. So you need 1 sleeve a month until you're a manager. Once you're a manager, 2 sleeves of patches a month to stay active. But if you come in on premium, you don't have to buy product for the first 3 months. There's also a 30-day money-back guarantee for brand partners on their products. So as I said, if this sounds confusing, because you might be, oh, I'm so excited about it, but it doesn't make any sense to you, you can go to, this is at team.com, which is like our training website. We also have something called School now. Steve Merritt says he didn't finish school, and so because it was spelled wrong, I said he didn't know about South Africa and Afrikaans, because that's the Afrikaans spelling of school for those of us who are South Africans. We have an app now for brand partners called School, where all the training is as well, and it's absolutely amazing. There's so much information there. So once you're a brand partner, you can sign into that, and you can get the same kind of information that you get on This Is a Team, where there's things about the compensation plan, how you onboard people, how you change legs. That is where you will find all the information, and you can watch videos on the compensation plan if you need to understand it all before you start. I always say just get started. You're excited about the product, get started, and we'll teach the rest as you go. So the time is now to make your move. Are you serious about your dream? There is hope for your future, whether it's because you have a health issue and you're thinking, I really need to change my health or my child's health or my parents' health, or you want to change your financial situation, or you want to do both. We can help you with whatever it is that you are wanting to do. So I'm going to finish that now, stop sharing, and I'm going to ask Amanda to give her perspective of how the compensation plan works, because she's also done other network marketing, well, another network marketing company, so she has better perspective than many.
When I started, I had to make a big decision to move over, and that's why it was so important to me to see that the company was 20 years old, and I could stick with that. But I had to make a decision, and I couldn't wait months and months and months before I earned an income. So I had to make sure I could earn an income quickly. And I was looking at these legs and I knew I need 660 points and 330 points. Then I'm going to earn a cycle bonus and get some income. But in my mind, I knew to stay active, and I don't want to go too deep. I needed 55 points, which is one sleeve of the secondary patches. And I thought I can do maths. 55 points up to 660 is a lot of money, or a lot of people that need to buy a lot of products. And I was like, this is not going to happen. And within 2 or 3 weeks, suddenly I was sitting on 2,000 points and I was like, how did that happen? Because I didn't add that many people into my team. But that was where it came into my uplines, adding people, and everything that they were doing was contributing to my points and was helping me. And I can just say I am blown away. I've been in the company for 9 months, and what's busy happening, I've heard about it, but I'm seeing it now. I'm experiencing it now, and I'm so hopeful and so grateful, because a lot of times people say, oh, just tell them about the products, don't talk about the business. But for a lot of people, it's a lifeline. It's an incredible, hopeful situation where somebody can give you hope. A lot of people are without hope. And for me, I will always talk about the business opportunity. You don't have to take it. You can just be a customer with extra benefits, getting it at wholesale price. But for me, it's been a lifeline, and I would always throw out that lifeline to other people, because you never know their situation. They may not tell you, but they may have somebody else that really, really needs help and are desperate. And I was there, and I'm so grateful for the LifeWave opportunity.
Amanda, you've got to tell everybody about the fact that you've grown up enough now to have your afternoon nap because of LifeWave. You have to share that. I love it.
I always said I had kids that never slept. So I always said, one day when I'm big, I'm going to sleep every afternoon. And for me, it's not only having a better income, it's having a life, I'm able to read a book again. I'm able to lie in the bath for an hour and read a book. And now I take afternoon naps, and I love it. I love it to be able to do it. It's like a special treat. I get up early in the morning because I know I can't just just sleep every afternoon and go to bed at night. But so I do what I have to do, but it's a privilege. It's a privilege that I've got an option. I went to see my mom the other day. I didn't have to ask a boss if I can go and see my mom. I stayed there for a week, and then I went to my parents-in-law for another week. I didn't have to ask a boss, and I could work from wherever I was. I was still presenting. I was still phoning people. I was still supporting people, and I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity.
Thanks, Amanda. And that's what's so amazing about LifeWave. I mean, I've only been back from the States for just over a week, and I was at This Is It Rise Up convention, which is why I went. But I can work from anywhere. I might be in a different time zone, but I can still answer people's questions, be there for my team, and keep working, and actually be building the business because I was there to present at the conference. So it's a very exciting opportunity, and the product is just amazing. The more excited we get about the product, the more excited we get about the opportunity, because the two go hand in hand, and that's why the company has grown the way that it has. So if you're new to LifeWave and you want to know more, go back to the person who invited you. If they can't answer your questions, they can put you on a 3-way call with one of us who can help. So thank you, everybody, for being with us this evening, and enjoy the rest of your evening. And there will be a Wednesday night call. I won't be on the call on Wednesday night, but Amanda will be hosting. And then there's a call, I think Arlene's away, but her call will happen tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. South Africa time, which is still Australia. It's evening for Australia, but people are hosting it for the whole month that she's away. That's what we love about the teamwork. And then there's Amanda's call on Thursday afternoon, and there's Candace's call tomorrow evening. The UK time calls, if there's anything that you need, just let us know. And there are calls happening all the time, every day except Friday and Sunday. We have team calls. But if you want to call on a Friday, we'll put one in for you if you've got people who want to hear about LifeWave. So enjoy your evening, everyone, and thank you so much for being on the call with us.